Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, based on the time you are accessing this material. Welcome to B.E.C.E 2020 Mathematics. If you are accessing this material on YouTube, this is a course or past questions solved on coolchat.com. So you can visit coolchat.com and see other past questions so that you can fully prepare for your examination. My name is Godwin, and I'll be taking you through this part of the past question. We are solving the 2020 mathematics, the B.E.C.E, and we've grouped them into 4 parts. The first part, we solved question 1 to 20 of the section A, and the second part, we solved question 22 to 40, and this part is the third part of the series. And we are going to solve section B from question 1 to 3. If you are accessing this material on YouTube, you can visit coolchat.com. Under JHS, we have the B.E.C.E past questions there. So when you have the B.E.C.E, these are some of the past questions we've uploaded so far. And every now and then we upload more, so you can be visiting the site so that you can be getting familiarized with the past questions. We also add notes to the past questions, so it's a form of revision for you while you are solving the past questions as well. Okay, so let's go to the mathematics 2020. So we've solved from 1 up to 20. 1 was the first part, then from 22 to 40 was the second part. And this part we are going to solve the theory question, the section B, from 1 up to 3. Then the next video we will also solve it from 4 up to 6. Okay, so let's get started. So question 1 says if m is called the prime integers between 1 and 11, and n is called factors of 12. Find m union n and ii, m intersection n. Okay, so union is listing all the elements in both sets from the lowest to the highest. And when an element occurs in both sets, it is written only once. So each of the elements will appear only once, and we arrange them from the lowest to the highest. So make sure that any element which is found in both sets should appear in the list of union. Okay, the intersection is what appears in both sets. So what you can find in set M at the same time find in set N is the intersection of both sets. But before that, you need to list them. Okay, so they say M is a prime integer between 1 and 11. So you first of all need to know what a prime number is. So a prime number is a number that has only 2 factors, 1 and itself, and that number should be greater than 1. Okay, so which means 1 is not a prime number. So prime numbers start from 2 and the rest. 2 has only 2 factors. No other number can go into 2. So we have 2 has the factor to be 1 and itself. 3 also is a prime number because 3 has a factor of 1 and itself. 5 is also a prime number because 5 has a factor of 1 and itself. No other number can go into 5. 7 is a prime number because 7 has only 2 factors, 1 and itself. And 11 is a prime number. But 11 has a factor, factor only 2 factors, 1 and itself, because no other number can go inside. Okay, but this question says that the integer is between 1 and 11. Now, when it says between, it is not inclusive. It's not inclusive. For example, if you have a car and it's parked somewhere and it's parked between red and yellow car, and I say your car is parked between the red and the yellow car, doesn't mean that the red car is yours and the yellow car is yours. No, it means that it's just between them. Okay, so if they say m is between this, it means m is not part, the beginning and the end is not part of the list. So you should take note of it so that you don't get confused. unless it says inclusive. Inclusive, then this and that will be included. Okay, or from this to this, then that one they will be included. But if it says between, then the boundaries are not included in the list when you are listing them. So since we've considered prime number, so our m is going to be 2, 3, 5, 7. 11 is not part because it says 11 is the end. So 2, 3, 5, and 7. Okay. Now n is called the factors of 12. So a factor of a number is all the numbers that can go into that number. Okay. So what are the factors of 12? Which numbers can go into 12? Every number has a factor of 1 because 1 goes into every number. So 1 is a 1, 2 can go into 12, so 2 is another, 3 can go into 12, so 3 is another, 4 can go into 12, so 4 is another, 6 can go into 12, so 6 is another. So now, if you get one factor, ask yourself, that factor, which other number does it multiply to get the factor you are looking for? For example, 1 is a factor because 1 times 12 will give you 12, isn't it? Okay. Now, so you write 1 and 12 down. Now 2 is a factor of 12 because 2 times 6 will give you 12. So you write 2 and 6 down. Now 3 is a factor because 3 times 4 will give you 12. So you write what? 3 and 4 down. Okay. So now once you are done, you check if all the elements are included, whether you list all of them. Okay. So I'm going to show you the solution so you can have a list of this and I can explain something to you. Okay, so here m is equal to 2, 3, 5, and 7. Then the factors of 12, like I explained, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Okay, now check if you've listed all the factors. So by multiplying the first and the last and see if you get the factor you are looking for factors of 12. So when you multiply them, you are supposed to get 12. So if you have 1 times 12 is 12, yes. Then take the next one and the last next. So we have 2 times 6 is 12, yes. Now 3 times 4 is 12. So you can see that there is no number which is left which doesn't have a partner to multiply to get 12. So we've listed all the elements of factors of 12. Now we are going to find our union. So like I said, unions is arranging the elements from the lowest to the highest in both sets and make sure that if an element occurs in both sets, you only write it once. So we start, the lowest is 1, so we write 1 down, followed by 2. Even though 2 is here and 2 is there, we only write it once. So 2, followed by 3, followed by 4, and there's 5 here, so followed by 5. Then there's 6 here, so 6, then followed by 7. Then after 7, there is no other number but 12. Okay, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 12 to be our union. Okay, so that's it, as you can see. Now, intersection is the element you see over here at the same time you see on the other set. So intersect, you can find it here, you can find it here. Okay, so the intersection is everywhere. It's at the same, it's at this side at the same time at that side. Okay, so for the intersection, you find the element which is here at the same time here. Now we've seen 2 over here at the same time 2 is over here, so 2 is one of the elements. Then we see 3 here at the same time 3 is here, so 3 is one of the elements. Okay, so I think that's the last one. We don't see any other number, so the intersection of m and n is only 2 and 3. Okay, so 2 and 3. Okay, so let's move on to question number B. So question number B says we should simplify 45 divided by 3 plus 2 times 8 minus 12 plus 42. I believe you've heard of the expression board mass, brackets of division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. The board mass gives us the order in which we should use to simplify our expression. Okay, So board math says that bracket should come first, but there's no bracket here. Then it says that off is also a form of multiplication. So off should follow. There's no off here. It says that division is the third one. So there is a division here. Okay, so that's the one we need to first solve first. I'm on the list of operators here. Okay, so we have to divide 45 by 3 first. Then we continue with the board math to see which one we need to solve next. Okay, so 45 divided by 3 gives us 15. So here we've gotten 15. So 15 is here. So you get 15 plus 2 times 8 minus 12 plus 42. Now board math after BOD, the next multiplication, which is M. Okay, so you need to simplify our multiplication next. So if you multiply 2 by 8, you get 16. So here is going to be 15 plus 16 minus 2 plus 42. Now once it is addition and subtraction, they are commutative. So any order you put it, it doesn't matter. You get the same answer. So once you've gotten 15 and 16 here, you can just continue to simplify. Now 15 plus 16 plus 42, you add it, then what you get, you just subtract 12 from it. Okay, so that is the explanation. So we are moving to the B to see it for ourselves. Okay, so board math, brackets, orders, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. Okay. Okay, so if you have square and bracket, square and root, you need to solve them. That's the O, but the one which is for O. Okay, so applying board math. So here is supposed to be orders. Okay, so we have the in the list of them. You have division, you have multiplication, you have subtraction, you have addition. Okay, so in the list of these operators, we have B is the first one, which is division. So we solve for this one. So 45 divided by 8 is 15. Followed by, you solve for this one, 16. Then you add all of them. So when you add, you get 73 for the positive one. Then you subtract the 12 from it, which gives you 61 as your answer. Okay, so that's it for B. Then C. C says in the diagram, X, Y, and Z are angles on the straight line. Now, if the ratio of X and Z is equal to 2 is to 3, and Y is equal to 80 degrees, find X. Okay, so here we can solve it in 2 ways. We can solve it in 2 ways. One is using substitution method. Now, you can use substitution method to also solve it. Then the second one is using a concept of ratios. Okay, the concept of ratio. And the third concept you need to use is also that when you sum all angles on the straight line, they should add up to 180. They should add up to 180. Okay, they should all add up to 180. Now, if you are using the concept of ratio, the concept of ratio says that now if you want to get the number, if you have a ratio which you know, and you know the total number that gave you the ratio, to get the number for a particular part of the ratio, remember the ratios are in the order, so it means the first ratio is for X, since we have X is to Z, so the first part is for X, and the second part is for Z. Okay, so the ratios concept is that if you want to get the number for the ratio, it's going to be the ratio, the number you are looking for, its ratio over the sum of the ratios, so this and this times the total. Okay, so here if we know the total of X and Z, the sum of them, then we can get the value of X by using the ratio of X divided by the sum of the ratio times the total. Now, if you are using the concept of all angles should add up to 180, then we have X plus Y plus Z should be equal to 180. And we know Y should be 80. So it means X plus 80 plus z should give us 180. So the 100 can go, so you get x plus z is equal to 180 minus 80. Okay, the 80 will go, which gives us 100. So since we've gotten the total of the sum of x and y, we can use it to calculate the value of x. So if you are using it to calculate the value of x, you have the ratio of x, which is 2, divided by 2 plus 3, which is 5, times 100. So 2 over 5 times 100. 2 goes into 100 50 times. No, I'm sorry. We have 2 over 5 times 100. 5 goes into 100 5 times. 20 times. 5 goes into 100 20 times. So you get 20 times your 2, which gives you 40 degrees. Okay. So I'm going to show you but I'm explaining it. So the concept is that if you know the total, which gives you a particular ratio, to get the exact number for each of the ratios, it gets the ratio of that part you are calculating over the sum of their ratio times the total will give you that part. Okay, so that's the concept you should also know. So if you know the sum of x and y, to calculate for x is just going to be the ratio of x over the sum of the ratio times the total. If you are calculating for z, it's going to be the ratio of z, which is 3 over the total, over the sum of the ratios times the total. Okay, so in this case, it's going to be 3 over 5 times the total. The total is 100. So any of them you can calculate if you know the total. Okay, so in this option 1, we have second method with the substitution. But let me go over what I'll explain, then I come back to that. Okay. So solving using substitution, we've talked about this place already. Okay, the sum of all the angles on the straight line should give you 180. So since our y is 80, when you add s plus 80 plus z, you're supposed to get 180. This 80 can come here, is positive, so it becomes negative. Then 180 minus 80 should give you 100. So we know the sum of s and z to be 100. So you can use the ratio concept to solve for it. Okay. So in the ratio concept, like I said, the number of s is going to a ratio of s over sum of ratios times total number. So s will be 2 over the sum of the ratio times our 100. So we have 2 over 5 times 100. 5 goes into 120 times, so you get 2 times 20, which gives you 40. Okay. Now let's go back to the substitution. So for substitution, we know x plus z is equal to 100. So we make z a subject. So z is equal to 100 minus x. Now concept of ratio is that the number of this one is to the number of this one, when it's being simplified, is what you get the ratio. Okay. So now the number of x over the number of z is equal to the ratio of them expressed in fraction. So you have x over z to give us the fraction of their ratios. So 2 over 3. Now you know that z is equal to, here we got our z to be 100 minus x. So you can replace where you have your z, you have replaced by 100 over 100 minus x, so that you only get x in terms. Then you can simplify for x. So if you have x over 100 minus x is equal to 2 over 3, then you cross multiply. So the numerator at the left hand side will multiply the numerator at the right hand side. And the denominator at the left hand side will multiply the numerator at the right hand side. Okay, so we have x mean at the top will multiply the 3. Okay, so we have 3 times x. Then we have the 100 minus x mean at the bottom will multiply the top, which is 2. So we have 3 times x is equal to 2 times 100 minus x. And we simplify. This times this gives us 3x. This, the distributive property which we've already considered says that you distribute this over all of it. So this will multiply each of the numbers in the or expressions in the bracket. So you get 2 times 100, which is 200, then 2 times negative x, which is negative 2x. Now this x can come over here, so it becomes positive. Then we leave the 200 there. So you get 5x is equal to 200. Then you divide both sides by 5. So when you divide both sides by 5, 5 goes into 240 times. So our s is 40. So you can either use the substitution method or the concept of ratio. So however you want to arrive at the same answer. So substitution method, make one expression, then you substitute it in the general equation so that you only have one letter to solve. Then you can simplify that letter to get it. Okay. So that's question number 1. So question number 1. So we are moving on to question number 2. So question number 2 says simplify 5 into bracket 6 minus 8b plus 2 into bracket negative 7 plus 3ab. Okay, so here we still need a concept of distribution. So the distribution we have already talked about it. So what is outside will multiply each of the numbers or letters inside, including their sign. So here we have 5 times 6, then 5 times negative AB. Then you write it down the result. Then plus we have 2 times negative 7. That gives you negative 14. Then you have 2 times 3b. That gives you 6 AB. Then once you've expanded the bracket, then you can group like them and simplify. Okay, so I'm going to show that part, then you see. So this concept I've explained already, the distributive property. What is outside multiplies each of the terms inside. So we have A times B, and the same A times the C. If it's negative, the sign will also come when it's multiplied. So this one get A times negative C, which gives you negative A times C. Okay, so here when we multiply, our 5 multiplies each of the terms inside. So 5 times 6 minus 5 times 8. So you get your result. So here you get 30 minus 5ab. And this one, 2 multiplies the negative 7. You get negative 14. Then 2 multiplies this 2, you multiply 3, you get 6. So 6ab. So negative 14 plus 6ab. Now we add them. So we have to group like them. So we have 30 here. We have minus 14. So 30 minus 14 gives us what? 6 will give us 20. So 16. Okay. So 16 for 30 minus 14 gives us 16. Okay. So we have the number side. We're getting gotten 16. And here negative 5a plus 6ab. Okay. Negative 5ab plus 6ab. Okay, since they have the same AB, now you just express them and solve for the numbers. So it's like 6 minus 5, which gives you 1. So you have 1 AB, but you don't write the 1 there, so you're just going to be AB. So it's going to be 16 plus AB. This is 1 AB, but you don't write it there, so you just write AB, 16 plus AB over there. So that's question A part of question 2. Now you move on to question 2b. Question 2b says that the equation of a straight line is given by 3x minus 2y minus 6 is equal to 0. Then we have to find the gradient of the line, then the y-intercept. Okay, so to solve for this, you need to know the general equation of a straight line. The general equation of a straight line says that your y, it says that your y is equal to m, which is the gradient, times your x, okay, plus your c. Okay, so if you are given an equation and you need to find the gradient, and your c, you need to express that equation. You make y the subject and you simplify it. So once you make y the subject, the expression which is multiplying your x becomes your gradient, and the one which is left alone becomes your y-intercept. Okay, so that's the concept. So that's the concept you are going to use in the equation. We will make y the subject. So the expression which is multiplying our x becomes our gradient, and the one which is left becomes our y-intercept. Okay. So in the equation, we have 3x minus 2y minus 6 is equal to 0. So we move all the other ones to the other side. So this is 3x, so when it crosses, it's going to be negative. Or another alternative, you can also move, since we have negative 2y here, you can move it over here, then you maintain the rest. Okay, so that you don't have to divide by negative 2 again. So that what the one you are looking for becomes positive from the start. So since it's negative, we move the y rather to the other side. So you are going to get 3x minus 6 is equal to 2y plus 0, but 0, anything plus 0 is still the same number. So you get 3x minus 6 is equal to 2y, and you divide both sides by 2. So we have 3x over 2 minus 6 over 2. So you get 3x minus 3 is equal to y. So since we've gotten it in that order, then we can. So the expression was 3x, okay, minus 3x minus 2y, okay, then what is minus 6 is equal to 0. Okay, so we have to make y the subject, so that we have this in this form, in the way of this. Okay, so this y goes there. We have 3x minus 6 is equal to, this is negative, so when it crosses, it's going to be positive, so 2y. Okay, then divide both sides by 2. So divide both sides by 2, each of the expressions by 2, each of the expressions by 2, so that these 2 can cancel these 2. Okay, now you get 3 over 2x, negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. Okay, is equal to your y. Okay, now you can compare this to your expression. Okay, now you can see that the number multiplying your x is 3 over 2. So our gradient is going to be what? 3 over 2. And our y-intercept is negative 3, which is over here. It's negative 3. Okay, so that is the solution for this part. So let's go over. You can hide this one. So let's go over. Okay, so let's go over that one. So it says we solve for this. Okay, that one also brought this one over here. Then simplify, we got this. And the one multiplying your x will be your gradient, and the other one will be your y-intercept. Let's see. So 3 over 2 is the same as if you want to continue to mix fraction. So you have 2 goes here once, remember that 1. So you have 1 over number 1 over 2. And the y-intercept is going to be negative 3. Okay. So this one question 6 says, Adria received a commission of 20% on bread she sold. In 1 week, Adria's commission was 540 Ghana cedis. How much bread did she sell during that week? And find the average daily commission. Okay, so commission is just commission. You get the commission amount. Is just the commission percentage times the total amount you sell. So your commission percentage, okay, times the total amount you sell. Okay, so if you are selling pure water and the person says that you get a commission of 2% out of the amount of pure water you sell. So to get the the commission you are going to pay after selling maybe 2,000 of Ghana cedis of your type. It's just going to be the 2%, which is a 2 over 100. Remember, percentage is over 100. So the 2 over 100 times the total pure type you sold. So it's the same thing. This is bread. So we are going to use that concept. Here in the question, we know the commission already. We were told that the commission is 540. We know the commission percentage. What we don't know is the total bread actual sold. So we can write let x is equal to the total amount of bread actual sold. So our 540 will be here, which is the commission, which we already know the value. Okay, it's equal to our commission percentage. It was 20%, so 20% the same as 20 over 100. Okay, 20 over 100. Okay, now our total we don't know, so you can say x or total or however you call it. Okay, now if you like, you can simplify this one here. So 20 goes here 1, goes here 5. Okay, now you need to get rid of the division, which is the 5. So you multiply both sides by 5. So you get 540 times 5 will give us our x value. Okay, give us our x value. So you cancel this one goes here 1, goes here 5 times. And since the 5 is dividing, we multiply both sides so that you can cancel, so that it will be left with only x. So our x is going to be 540 times 5. Okay, so then you just do the multiplication of 540 times 5. Okay, so if you are preparing for the B.E.C.E, make sure you are good at multiplying. So you can take your time. Any number you see a multiplication, just multiply and compare your answer to. As you practice multiplication, it makes it easy for you. So multiplication and division are things you must master by heart. Okay, so you can just do the multiplication of these two numbers. So okay, times 5. Okay, so 5 times 0 is 0. Okay, 4, 5 is 20. So you can write the 0 down. Remember 2. Okay, now 5 is 25. Then you add the 2 that you got over here, so you get 27. Okay, so our answer is going to be 2,700 Ghana cedis. The total amount of bread is sold. Okay, so make sure you master multiplication and division, and also decimal multiplication and decimal division. Okay, like I was explaining the other time, when it's decimal and it's multiplying, you can express it in the form a times 10 exponent b in that form, so that it makes it easy. Once you simplify the whole part, then you multiply by the 10 exponent, whether to move the decimal to the left or to the right based on the sign of the power. Okay, so this we have this amount of bread actual sold. Okay, so I'm going to go over. So commission is equal to commission percentage times total amount sold. So our commission is 540, then commission percentage is 20%, which is 20 over 100. So let x equal total bread sold. So we get 540 is equal to 20 divided by 100 times x. Now 20 goes into 100 5 times. We get 1 over 5 equal to x. Now we want to get rid of this 5, so we multiply both sides by 5. So 5 times this, and when you multiply this side by 5, 5 will cancel 5, so you left with x. Then you simplify the multiplication of 540 times 5 to get the value of our x. So our total amount sold will be 2,700 Ghana cedis. Okay, then question II says that find an average daily commission. So average when we talk of average, when we talk of average, average is calculated by the total over the number of what you are considering. For example, if there are 7 people in the class and you have to find their average age, all you need to do is to sum all their ages. So average, you get the total of whatever you are considering. Then what you divide is you count how many things you are considering. So in this example, there are 7 students in the class. So you sum all their ages, then you divide by what? 7. Then you get their average age. Okay. So in this case too, we have 1 week. So you say daily. Daily is each day. And we know that in 1 week, how many days we have in 1 week? 7 days. So the number of days under consideration is 7. So we look for the total commission over 7 will give us the daily average daily commission. So that will be the answer. The commission, which is this one, divided by 7. We said daily, so in 1 week is in 7 days. Then we will be able to get the daily commission. So we divide 540 over 7. Then the answer we get will be the average daily commission. Now, if you were asked to find the average maybe daily bread actual sold, and since we've gotten the amount of bread is sold, we just divide it by 7. You get the daily bread, the average daily bread is sold. So average is just the total or the number of things you are considering. So if it's 5 things you are considering, divide by 5. If it's 10, divide by 10. If it's 20, divided by 20. If it's 50, divided by 50. So based on how many things you are under consideration. So if this were to be 2 weeks, how many days we have in 2 weeks? We have first one week is 7 days. The second 1 week is 7 days. So you have 7 plus 7, which is 14 days. So there are 14 days in 2 weeks. Then you divide by that one. So based on what you ask, however they treat the question, you should be able to answer. Okay, so average, you divide by the number of items you are considering. Okay, if it's 2 numbers, you have to divide by 2. You sum them, divide by 2. Or if you know the total over the 2 will give you the average of what you are looking for. Okay, so that's basically that. So now what I've explained, average is called the total over number of consideration. So here we know the total commission to be 540. Okay, so the average is going to be 540 divided by 7, which gives you 77.14. So like I've explained, if you are supposed to calculate the average on the total bread sold, you just divide this by the total bread that you are sold by 7. So our last part, question number 3. So question number 3 says express 13 over 15 minus 7 over 10 as a percentage. Okay, so percentage, if you are expressing something as of a percentage, it means times 100. So you need to look for the fraction, get the simplified fraction, then you multiply by 100, and you will be able to get the percentage of it. So like we did in the first like we did in our objective. In our objective, we solved some okay, so we solved some in the section A, but you go over, so you find the LCM of the denominators, then you use it to simplify. So the LCM of the denominators, so we have what? 13 over 15. 13 divided by 15. Okay. Minus 7 over 10. Okay. So let's simplify the fraction first. Then the fraction we get, we find the percentage of it. So percentage of a fraction, just multiplying that fraction by 100. So once we are done with the fraction, just multiply it by 100. So when simplifying a fraction, you find the LCM of the denominators. Remember, the top is numerator and the down is denominator. So a least common multiple is a number that the denominator, each of the denominators can go into, and that the least number. That's why it's called least common multiple. So you ask yourself, can 15 go into 10 or can 10 go into 15? If it can't, then one of them is the least common multiple. But if it doesn't, you can list the multiples of each of them. So multiples of 15, we have 15. Then if you don't do the multiplication, just add the multiples of what you are looking for to the next one. Then you get the next one. Then you add the same thing to the next one. Okay. So if you are going to write the multiples of 15 to maybe our fourth part, you have 15. Okay, 15 plus 15. So the first one is 15. Then you add another 15. So that's the second one. So it means 15 times 2 is going to give us 30. Then you add another 15. So 15 plus another 30, you get 45. Then in that order. Okay. So it means the multiples of 15 is going to be 15, 30, 45, and so on. Then 10, if you don't do the multiples of 10, then you just write one down, then add another one to it, you get a second one, then you add another one to the second one, you get a third one. So the first one is going to be 10. You add 10 to 10, you get 20. Then you add another 10 to the 20, you are going to get 30. So as you can see, 30, 15 can go into 30, okay, and 10 can also go into 30. So that's the least number both of them can go into. So we divide it by 30 to be our least common multiples. So we have 30 over here. Okay. Then you ask yourself, how many times can the denominator go into your least common multiple? Then you use that result to multiply what we have at the top and keep the sign. Okay, so 15 goes into 30 2 times. So we have 2 times our 13. So we have 2 times our 13. Okay, then you have negative here, so minus. Then 10 goes into 33 times. So we have 7 times 3. Okay, so now we can simplify. Okay, so this one will give us 26. 2 times 13 is 26. Minus 7 times 3 is 21. Okay. All divided by 30. So like I told you, you need to master your multiplication. And if you are slow at memorizing it, you should know how you get it. The multiplication is just adding that number multiple times, then you can get each of the multiplications. Okay, so yeah, now 26 minus 21 should give us 5. So 5 divided by 30. Now 5 can go into 30. So 5 goes here, 1. It goes into 36. So our simplified version is going to be 1 over 6. Okay, this is a fraction. We have to express it in percentage. So we multiply it by 100. Like I told you, to express a fraction in percentage, we multiply it by 100. Okay, so we have 100 divided by 6. Okay. Okay. Now 2 can go here 25 times. Okay. Then 2 can go here 3 times. So we have 25 over 3 percentage. Okay. Now you can simplify it to get it in decimals or change it to a mixed fraction. Okay. So a mixed fraction, you change to a mixed fraction or in decimals. Okay, so the rest, I believe you can do that, but the result is on the website. So I'm just going to show you the result on the site. So we've gone through all this, we've gone through all that, we've gone through here. Okay, did I say 2 goes? What was I doing? Did I say 2 goes? 2 goes here 50, sorry. 2 goes here 50. I believe when I was saying it, some of you, those following, you will wonder. So we have 6 here, 2 goes here 50. Sorry. So we have 50, 2 goes here 3. Okay. So we have 50 over 3. Okay. So you solve 50 divided by 3. This is in percentage. So when you solve it, the answer you get percentage of it. You can also write it in mixed fraction. So how many times can 3 go into the 50, and what will be the remainder? Then you express it in the mixed fraction. Okay, so you get 16.6 recurring, so you get 16.67. Or when you change to mixed fraction, 6 can go into, the 3 can go into 50 16 times. Then what will be the remainder? Remainder 2. Because you need to, I think, 48. So remainder 2. Then you have the percentage of them. So this will be in percentage. Okay, so that's it for A. So you go to B. So B says factorize AY minus Y minus A plus 1. Okay. Now already there's Y here. There's Y here. So we can factorize Y out. Okay. So when we factorize our Y out, we are going to get so we have AY, then what? Minus Y minus A plus 1. Okay. Now we have Y here, we have Y here. So you can factorize Y out. Y into bracket our A, what is left will be A. Okay. Now this Y is the same as 1 times Y. So if we brought the same as Y, 1 times Y. So if we brought Y out, it will be left with 1. Okay. So and there's a negative. So negative 1. Since we brought 1 of the Y out. So if you multiply Y times 1, you are still going to get Y. So in this case will be 1. Okay. Then we have minus A. Then what? Minus. It was here plus or minus. Okay, plus 1. Okay. Now, to simplify further, you need to express this one, okay, to be the same as this. So we can, there is negative 1 here. Okay. Now, if you want to get this one to be negative, if you want this one to be negative, so this one, so you can factorize negative, negative 1 out. So when you factorize negative 1 from this expression, okay, negative A plus 1. If you factorize negative 1 out, so you have negative 1 into bracket. This is negative A, so it's just left with A. Okay, now this is positive, so it will be left with negative. So that if you get negative 1 times negative 1, you get positive 1, which is the same. Okay, so now you've gotten this part to be the same as that part. Okay, so once we've gotten our Y into bracket A minus 1 and negative 1 into bracket A minus 1. Okay, now this part is the same as this part, so we can write it down. So we have A minus 1. Okay, then when we take this one, we are left with this, so you write that one down. Now when we take this one, we are left with this, so you write that one down. Okay, so the factorization is this. Now you can change the order, it doesn't matter. Multiplication is commutative. Wherever you change the order, it's going to be the same. Okay, so you can bring this one here, you can bring that one here. It's still going to be the same answer, so the same result. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so as you can see, A minus 1, Y minus 1. Okay, A minus 1, Y minus 1. Or you can change the order. The same thing. Now we move on to C. So C, it says in the fishing community of 9,400 people, the number of women exceeds the number of men by 1,500. Find the ratio of men to women in the community. So to find the ratio of men to women, you have to find how many people are women and how many people are men. Then you can express the ratio as ratio of the number of men is to the number of women. Then you can simplify if it's possible to get your ratio. So here we use the information. They said the number of women exceeds the number of men. So it means when we add 1,500 to the number of men, we are supposed to get the number of women. Okay, so you can use a letter to represent the number of men. Okay, so to get the number of women, it's just going to be, if X is the letter for the number of women, so the number of for the number of men, and the value of the number of women is going to be X plus 1,500. That will give you the number of women. Now, when you add the women to the men, you should supposed to get the total number of people in the community. Okay, so when you add them, you get this, then you can solve for your X. Once you get your X, which is the number of men, you add 1,500 to get the number of women. Then you can express them as a ratio. Okay. Since like 2020, there are a lot of ratio questions, so you need to be careful about ratios, because if you look at the frequency of the ratio and perimeter appearing in most of the past questions, these two things means you need to master them very well, so that all the questions that will come will be able to answer them fully. Okay, so the ratio and the perimeter, basically, this has occurred a lot in this 2020 past question. Okay, so now let's solve it. So let X is equal to men, so the number of men. Okay, now women, we said we have 1,500 more than men. So when we add 1,500 to the number of men, we are supposed to get the number of women. Okay, so if you add 1,000, exceed, it's more than. So if you add 1,500 to the number of men, you are supposed to get the number of women. And to get the total is going to be the number of men plus the number of women to get the total. And we are giving the total to be 9,400. So 9,400 with the total people in the community is equal to our number of men, which is X, okay, plus our number of women, which is X plus 1,500. Okay. Okay. This is for women and this is for men. If you know the sum of them should give the total population in the community. So now we can simplify for our X. So we have 9,400 x plus x gives us 2x plus 1,500. Okay. Now we move this one here so that the x can be yellow. We have 9,400 minus 1,500 is equal to 2x. Okay, so the result you get, you divide it by 2, here to divide it by 2, so this will cancel this. Okay, so x is going to be this one minus this divided by 2. So 9,400 minus 1,500. Okay, so 0 minus 0 is 0, 0 minus 0 is 0. Now 4 minus 5 is not enough, so you can take 1 over here. Okay, so that gives you 14. So 14 minus 14 minus 5 is going to give you what? I think 9. So you get 9 here. You get 8 here. Okay, so we borrowed 1 year, so here it's not 9, so it's 8. Okay, we borrowed 1 year. Okay, so we have 8 minus 1, so here it's supposed to be 7. Okay, so we have 7, 9, 0, 0 divided by 2. Okay, so you can do the simplification for the time's sake. So we get 3,950 for the number of men. Okay, so that's the number of men. So the number of women will be, so the number of women is going to be this one plus, you have 3,950 plus 1,500. Okay, so you do the addition. So you have 3,950 plus 1,500. So 0 plus 0 is 0, 5 plus 0 is 5, 9 plus 5 is 14. So write the formula 1. And this will give you, this plus this will give you 4 plus the 1. So you have this. Okay, so this is the number of women over there. So to find the ratio of men to women, it's going to be the number, we have the number of men, which is 3, 9, 5, 0 is 2. Number of women, which is 5, 4, 5, 0. Okay, now you can simplify. So you can see 50 here, 50 here. So 50 can go into all of them. So we divide both by 50. We divide this side by 50. We divide this side by 50. Okay. Like I said, you try to master the division. So you do it yourself. Divide this one by 50. Divide this one by 50. The result you get will be the simplified fraction. So you are going to check the solution we have on the website. Okay. So you say let the total people score to 9,400 and let us score to the number of men. Okay. So the number of women exceeds men by 1,500 means that when you add 1,500 to the number of men, you get the total number of women, which done that. So if I know the total number of women is going to be S plus 1,500. Okay. Now we should also know that the total number of people in the community will be the number of women plus the number of men. Okay. So since this total people is this, number of men is the number of women is this, when we add them, so we have X plus the number of women, which is S plus 1,500 to give us the total number. So when we add, this one comes here. When you subtract, you get this is equal to this. And you divide both sides by 2, you get this one, which will be the number of men. So to get the number of women, you add this to this. So that will be the total number of women. And the ratio is going to be this and that. Okay. So like I said, 50 can go into this, 50 can go into this. So you check how many times 50 can go into all of them. You have to do your long division. Then you get, so 50 goes into this one, 79, 50 goes into this one, 109. So that will become the simplified version of your distance. Okay. So thank you very much, because we didn't want the video to be lengthy, so that you can do it bit by bit and finish the entire 2020 past question. And hopefully when one is done, we also make 2019 also available with explanation, and also have it on the website at the same time in the form of the video. So at least if you are able to fully understand at least 2, 3, 4, 5 fully solved past questions, and which is also a form of revision for you, you should be able to do well in the upcoming B.E.C.E exam. Remember to subscribe. Chat EduHub is our YouTube channel. As you can see, if you are watching YouTube, it means you have access to our video. When you click, if you are accessing it on the coolchat.com, when you click on the video where it says watch it on YouTube, when you go to the YouTube, you see subscribe. So if you log into your Gmail, you just subscribe to our channel. If you haven't logged in, you can create a Gmail account if you don't have. And if you have an account, you log in and you subscribe to our channel. Anytime we upload a new video, you get a notification, and you can visit the YouTube, then you can watch the video. And also visit the website often as time goes on, you upload the past questions. Okay, it's not easy solving all these past questions, but because for the love of the people, we want to use our IT knowledge. So Kuchat is an IT company. So the idea is to use our IT knowledge to make education efficient and better in Ghana, okay, and across West Africa and any other people that write their B.E.C.E. Okay, but once again, my name is Godwin. If you are just watching our third video, try to watch the part 1 and part 2 of the 2020 solve mathematics past B.E.C.E past question as well. So in the subsequent video, which is the last series of the 2020 mathematics solve past question, we are going to solve question number 3, there is question number 4, 5, and 6. So be glued to your seats. If by then, as you watch this one, it's already available, you can watch. If not, as you anticipate it. Remember to subscribe so that when we upload that one too, you get a notification. Okay, but have a lovely day and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.